Alright, I'm back with you. I stepped away for just a minute, so we'll continue our reassembly of this Brown and Auto 5. We have our lower receiver here. Have our bolt. It slides right into the bottom. It goes right into its little channels. There you go, right on the tracks there. We can take our charging handle, slide it right in its groove there, and ease it forward so it can re-engage its track, just like that. Now we're going to take the bolt and we're going to move it back so we can get our pinhole lined up. Once we get our pinhole lined up, we're going to take our spring that we took out earlier, our spring. It will slide right down in this hole right here, right down in the middle of the bolt. Spring will slide down. We'll take this piece, just like that, and the pin will actually go through the bolt and through the hole. And it'll drop right down into place. Like so. Hard to get my fat fingers down in there. Alright, so once we get in there, you can look back through the pinhole here and you can see that you got everything lined up. Everything looks good. We take our pin. Remember, we got one side that's tapered, so the tapered side will stay to the outside towards you. And just slide right in here. We'll get it started as best we can with our thumb, and we'll take our punch and just tap it in place. And it's got to be flush in there for it to move freely. Once you got it in there flush, it moves freely just like it's supposed to do. Lift this up. We can move our charging handle forward. Everything's working like it should. All right, so we'll take our spring, a big spring here. We got the little metal end down towards the receiver of the shotgun. It slides into the tube. Just goes straight down. And we want to make sure that the spring and this link in here are engaged. You can see right there. Make sure that's engaged. So we press down we first find our little bitty pin that we put up here. We press down on the spring. It's got considerable spring pressure, but you can hold it in there pretty good. Turn it with my punch a little, and our pin goes right through there. And that holds it in place. This particular this is an old Browning, and it has a old wooden plunger here. Some of the new ones have plastic ones. This is an old wooden one. It's seen its better days. But once you get it in there and get it lined up and you put the stock back on, everything will stay in place. So check it. Everything's working freely. So we're well on our way of getting this shotgun put back together. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put our elevator back in. So we get our elevator, and we got this accompanying piece right here. They all line up together. It's made, it fits like a glove. These holes line up on that side. I always put this screw in first, the one on the side with the magazine cut off, because that holds both of them together. So as you can see, you can slide it down in there and just slide the pin right in. So we just simply insert it into the shotgun here. See if we can get the pins to line up. Well, lining up nicely. Then we'll take one of our specialty screws that goes on the side. It goes right down in, engages the threads. Oh, that's the wrong screw. These screws are identical, however, one side may be clocked so the half moon fits. So if you put it in there and you notice that your half moon is not lining up, just try the other screw and you'll find that that's the one that goes in there. So now that lines up perfectly. Don't try to force it around and get it super tight because the half moon doesn't line up with the locking screw. We get our little bitty locking screw, and that's a little bitty tiny slot. Get it started if we can. Yep, there it goes. Get it in there. Very nice. All right, I'll go to the other side. See that everything's lining up. Drop our screw in, our big screw. Come on, baby, start for me. There we go. I was trying to cross thread on me. Once we get it in there lined up perfectly, we'll put our, wrong one. We'll put our locking thread and locking screw in there to hold it in place. All right, perfect. All right, so we in there. And when you put this thing back together, the next thing we're gonna do is install the trigger guard, the firing assembly, trigger assembly. If you can see right here, there's a little ear right here. This ear is what the spring rides on to cause the elevator to work and be under spring pressure. So when you install this trigger housing, just make sure that you engage that that little ear right there. This is the spring that engages right here. So the long end's up when you installed it. So just make sure that thing engages. So we're gonna turn this back over. This spring will fall out, so I typically just touch it with my finger right here so it doesn't fall. And then I'll lift up on the elevator right here so it'll be up in a position where the spring can more easily engage it. And it's engaged now, so we're going to ease down on the fell off. That's no problem. We'll do it again, get it right in there where it needs to be. There we go. Get everything lined up perfectly. These old shotguns are fit like a glove. Once everything's lined up, we take our smaller of the two pins. It's lined up now, so we got it started. Come on, baby. There we go. All right, now you'll see that I'm going to put my other one in there, but you'll notice that the trigger group's not going all the way down. You know, you don't want to bam it or anything else. Just push back on the bolt ever so slightly. You'll get that release, and it will go right on down into place, right where you need it to be. So we're going to insert our larger of the two trigger screws in here. Once we got that baby where we want it, kind of help it down a little bit. A lot of this stuff it fits so precisely. You kind of find yourself wanting to bam on it or something like that. It does not require that at all. Made a mistake there. So you got to keep your screws separately. These two screws look almost identical. That's the one that actually holds the stock on the shotgun. So that's why it's so important to keep that stuff separated. I wonder why it wouldn't go through. Anyway, we got it straight. That's why I say don't ever bam or fram on these guns. If it's not working, something's not right. So get everything lined up like you want it. Like I say, you don't have to go crazy on tightening this stuff down. Just tight enough to get this stuff to line up. Once it lines up, you're golden, because you'll put your lock and screw in and it'll hold everything into place. Very nice. One last lock and screw here. Get that rascal in there. Very nice. Alright, so let's put our stock on. Everything looks good. Let's slide our stock on. So there's a channel in the back of the stock. It's got a hole in it, channel. It rides right down on top of this spring housing. And right on it goes. And you drop the screw that I was attempting to put in earlier in my trigger group. It goes right here, and I'm going to get my big bit. It's designed for this screw, so I don't booger my threads. Just snug it up. Perfect. Lines up, everything lines up. We'll switch bits again for the smaller retaining screw. Get that baby in there. There we go. I didn't have it quite turned far enough, and it didn't want to engage in the little cutout. I got it now. Alright, beautiful. Everything's locked up, everything matches. We'll take the shotgun now, and we're going to slide our spring on. Now I shoot heavy loads with this gun, so I'm going to set it up with the heavy configuration. So you take your bevel pin. Your bevel pin here will go right over the magazine tube right there. Flat side down on the spring, bevel side up. Your friction rings going right on. Right on top, everything fits. Take our barrel, slide it right over. Take our forearm, slide it right over the barrel. Take our barrel nut, we're going to press down on the barrel. Take our barrel nut, tighten it down. Alright, once I get it tight, now a lot of people will run this thing tight, and there's no clearance between the receiver and the fore end. It causes a lot of these guns to crack. So normally what I like to do is back off a couple of clicks, and ever so slightly it'll give me a gap between the receiver and the fore end, so this thing's not just slamming on this metal. So and once again, we got a completely reassembled Browning A5. Safety works, everything works. Very nice. Thank you for watching.